Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. We appreciate you tuning in this afternoon to learn more about Boston University's Financial Planning Certificate Program and how our highly ranked program can prepare you for CFP certification in this growing field. My name is Sarah, and I will be moderating today's session alongside our main host, Carolyn Thomann, and BU's Enrollment Advisor, Amber Nolan. We invite you to ask questions throughout the webinar by typing in the questions box in your webinar control panel located on the right side of your screen. We will address your questions towards the end of the presentation during the questions and answers session. This webinar is being recorded and a link will be sent to your email for your reference and to share with your colleagues. So we have quite a large audience attending our live session today, so let's jump right in. All right, I'd now like to introduce Carolyn Thomann, the Program Director for Boston University's Financial Planning Program. Carolyn has developed this program and taught CFP courses in reviews. And Carolyn's involvement in the financial planning profession spans many diverse areas, and we're very fortunate to have her wealth of knowledge and experience at the forefront of BU's program. Carolyn, thank you and welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you very much, Sarah, and hi, everybody, and thank you very much for being with us today. We have a lot of information that Amber and I would like to share with you today, so why don't we take a look at the agenda and we can start that off. All right, so here are the things we'd like to go over, which are on the next slide. Sarah? There we go, okay. All right, so here's what I want to share with you today. We're going to talk a little bit about what financial planning is all about, and then how you can become a certified financial planner professional. And then, of course, people want to hear about career opportunities that are available in this field. And then we'll finish this off talking about the BU Financial Planning Program. Okay, so the first one is, what is financial planning? And I just want you to be aware of the fact of what financial planning really is, because some people believe that financial planning only involves investment planning or portfolio management. And actually, Sarah, if we can go back to the previous slide, we can go over that. There we go. What is financial planning? So it's not just portfolio management. It's the important part of financial planning, but there are so many other aspects that are involved. Financial planning is really a process that CFP practitioners follow to help their clients meet their financial goals. Helping clients is probably the most rewarding aspect of our career. So it's not surprising that 92% of certified financial planners said that they're either satisfied or highly satisfied with their career choice. And as you can see by some of these statistics that we put up here, there are so many advantages to becoming a CFP professional. 26% more in compensation, 70% will choose certified financial planners, up to 59% above the national averages for salaries in Boston, San Francisco, Dallas, and Phoenix. And also 70% of CFP professionals surveyed said that CFP certification has a positive impact on client trust and expertise. Okay, so the next slide, we're going to talk about what the financial planning subjects are. Can we get that one up?
Yep, sorry, I think there might be a little lag here on my end when I click the button.
Oh, okay, no problem, as long as we know they're coming. All right, so as you can see from this slide, you see that we have 6 subjects in financial planning. We start out with general principles of financial planning under the Introduction to Financial Planning. These would include topics such as education planning and debt management and mortgages and budgeting, and also how to work with clients. Then we have insurance planning and risk management. We have income tax planning, and that would be for individuals, not corporations. Then we have investment planning, retirement planning and employee benefits, and estate planning. Now, these 6 subjects correspond to the 6 financial planning courses that BU offers in our program. And each course will cover all of the CFP Board topics that planners are expected to know and the topics that are tested on the CFP Board's certification exam. Now, we have a last course in the program. All programs are required to have that, and it's called the Capstone course in financial planning. And this course is going to integrate the knowledge that you've learned in the other 6 courses, and it's going to put it all together and teach you how to develop a financial plan. Okay, now this may be surprising to some of you, but did you know that anybody can call themselves a financial planner or a financial advisor without obtaining any special education or credentials? Well, of course, that's not the case for certified financial planners, because certified financial planners have to go through a very rigorous 4-step process in order to get certified. And they also have what's known as a fiduciary duty to put their clients' interests first before their own. But this high fiduciary standard does not actually apply to all financial advisors. And really, that's why the CFP mark is recognized throughout the world as the gold standard of excellence in the financial planning field. And CFP certification is the one that clients trust and that the public will turn to when they're looking for financial advice. Now, the CFP Board oversees the financial planning profession and the whole entire certification process. Through its media campaign, it educates the public about the benefits of working with CFPs who put their clients' interests first. You may have even seen some of their commercials recently on TV, or even heard some of their radio spots on NPR. Well, the result is that more consumers are aware now of CFP professionals, and they are choosing to work with CFP practitioners over other financial advisors. And even though we have 86,400 CFP professionals in the United States today, there aren't nearly enough to satisfy public demand. So actually, this is really a very good time to enroll in the BU program and start working towards getting your CFP certification today.
All right, great. Thank you, Carolyn. And then now it's time to take a poll, and we'd love to hear from our audience. You can interact with the poll question directly using your webinar control panel. And I will launch the poll now. Okay, our poll question is, I am currently working in the financial planning field, and a CFP designation would help me grow in my career. Please select one of the following. Yes, I am rather new to the field. Yes, I have been in the field for 10+ years. Or no, I am not currently working in the financial planning field. We'll just give everyone a moment to answer, and then we'll comment on the results. Okay. And here are our results.
Wow, that's really interesting. Look at 49% said, no, I'm not currently working in the financial field. Well, it's great to see that so many of you are at least considering entering this wonderful field. And I have to say, as being a CFP for the past 25 years, I think it's a tremendous field to get into. And another 28% of you are rather new to the field, but we still have a group of you who are 23% who've been in the field for 10 or more years and probably just looking to get certified. So, all right, well, I'll tell you what, we've got some good news for all of you. So let's go on to the next slide, because we'll start talking about getting the benefits of the CFP marks. Well, okay, let's start out with those of you who already do work in financial services. You might be interested to know that 76% of CFPs said that CFP certification contributed directly to their professional success. And CFP certification can also provide you with a competitive advantage over other financial advisors. Many studies have shown that you have a greater earning potential once you obtain the CFP mark. And for example, the ITAG group in Boston found that CFP practitioners earn 26% more than other financial advisors. And CFP Board also did a survey where they found that 64% of CFPs reported that the CFP marks had a positive impact on their income. And even beyond that, practices with CFP professionals generate 40% more revenue and attract 53% more ultra high net worth clients too. So really, these are some very good incentives to get started on your CFP education today. And let's go over some career opportunities for the rest of you who are not working in financial services, because there's good news here for you too. Once you get your CFP certification, there's so many different types of financial service firms you can work for. And so what we've done is just put together a list of some of the firms that would typically hire CFP professionals. So we have banks up here, because especially the trust departments are looking for CFP professionals. Insurance companies hire them, accounting firms, human resources even, brokerage firms and mutual fund companies, of course, and even nonprofit organizations such as universities and charitable organizations. U.S. News and World Report has ranked financial planning as the 6th best business job in the United States, and there's a projected growth rate of 15% through the year 2026. And it's also been ranked number 22 for the best paying jobs as well. And of course, you can also work in financial planning firms too. So let's talk about these firms. They will either range from the large institutional firms to ones that you've already heard of before, to a lot of smaller financial planning or wealth management firms. Or you may even want to start your own financial planning practice, or even buy an existing practice. Right now, there's so many older CFP practitioners who are looking to train younger planners to take over their practices in the future. So this is a great way to get experience and learn the business. And here's a statistic that I really do find astounding. There are more financial advisors over the age of 70 right now than there are under the age of 30. So the profession is obviously in need of a younger and more diversified workforce. And so this is a very good time to get certified and start working in this field. And for those of you who are in the local Boston area, we just want you to also be aware of the fact that there are many career opportunities in Boston too, because employers want the BU students. They know our financial planning graduates have the knowledge and the expertise that they are looking for in their firms. And there's so many financial institutions and financial planning firms in the Boston area that will seek out our graduates. And so again, some of the same firms that you've seen nationally are here in Boston too, such as the banks and the insurance companies, many different sized financial planning firms. Some are fee only, some are fee and commissions, some are brokerage firms, mutual fund companies. In other words, in the Boston area, there are so many different opportunities available to our graduates. Our employers in the Boston area will often contact BU when they have some financial planning positions to fill. And so we always post their job descriptions on our program's website. So always be sure to check the website for local job listings. And also want you to be aware that the CFP Board has a center for financial planning. And if you go on their website, they also post job opportunities and internship opportunities that are available throughout the country. And I believe, oh, go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So now it's time to take another poll for our audience here. So I'll launch our poll question. Okay, our poll question is, with my CFP certification, I plan to select one of the following, please. Work for a financial planning firm, start my own practice, work for a brokerage firm or a mutual fund company, work in an insurance company, or work at a bank. We'll just take a moment for everyone to submit their answers here. All right, and we'll close the poll now. And here are results.
Wow, that's really interesting results. 44% said they'd like to start their own practice, and 40% want to work for a financial planning firm. So that's a real strong focus on working in financial planning and working directly with clients to help them with their financial planning goals. And that's really absolutely remarkable. We had 9% say they want to work for a brokerage firm or mutual fund company. 6% work for at an insurance company, and just 1% work at a bank. So anyway, it's really incredible to see that there's such a concentration of people here who are really interested in getting completely into the financial planning field. That's terrific. Okay, well, now that we've told you a little bit about the field and some career opportunities that are available to you, it's really time to start talking about what you have to go through in order to become a certified financial planner. So there are 4 steps to certification, and we call them the 4 E's. They are education, examination, experience, and ethics. And I'd like to go over each one of them briefly with you right now. So the first E is education. And there are 2 requirements for education. First of all, you have to complete a program that's registered with CFP Board. Obviously, Boston University is registered with CFP Board. We've been registered with the board for 39 years. So anyway, we are one of the oldest and most prestigious programs out there in the country. The second requirement is that you have to have a bachelor's degree. This is the CFP Board's requirement. That's not Boston University's requirement. So I just want you to be aware of the fact that to become a certified financial planner, you do need to have that degree. What the board will do is they're going to allow you 5 years to get your degree after you pass your exam. And actually, they're going to accept any major. So it doesn't have to be in financial planning or any finance-related subjects. And the next slide is going to talk about challenge status. And I just want to make sure you're clear on this, because CFP Board has a policy that there's no requirement to take the 6 major CFP courses if you have any of these professional designations, such as CPA, CFA, JD, CLU, and CHFC, or if you have a PhD in business or economics. So if you hold any of these professional designations, you can waive these education requirements and you would be eligible to sit for the CFP Board's exam. However, there's one thing you need to do, and that would be to take the Capstone course. So for the rest of us who don't have these other designations, we go through the entire education program and finish up with Capstone. However, if you have challenge status, you can just take that Capstone course. And of course, Boston University offers that in our program too. And then at that point, you'd be eligible to sit for the board's exam. Okay, now I've been mentioning the CFP Board's exam, so let's talk about what that is right now. This is the second E, which stands for examination. And I want to be the first one to tell you this. The exam is a very rigorous exam. It's a 6-hour computer-based exam. It's held 3 times a year, so you can generally always depend on the fact that the exam will be offered in March, July, and November of every year. This is the only year that has changed, because the July exam is going to be offered in September instead. It's been postponed. And obviously, we're living in unusual times. And that is the first time I've seen the exam postponed in over 25 years. Now, where you take the exam is at a Prometrics testing center. And there are testing sites that are located throughout the country. So you can easily find one at a center near you. Now, the exam itself is all multiple choice. So there's 170 multiple choice questions. And these questions also include casework. The board wants to make sure that you know how to apply the information that you're learning in all of your education courses. And that is really why at Boston University, we really emphasize including and working on cases in all of the BU courses. And this is why it's so rigorous, because the national pass rate is just 60% or higher, and higher meaning not much higher. I say maybe I've seen it 60 to 62%, probably at least over the past 10 to 15 years. So that pass rate really doesn't change that much. One of the good things that I can tell you is because the BU program has been doing this for the longest time possible. I think we started our online program back in 2002 before many other schools did that. We have a much higher pass rate than the national averages, and that is something that we're really very proud of. And I can tell you that pass rates, when schools are ranked in order of the best schools that are that offer the CFP programs, Boston University is ranked #2 in the country, and that's probably out of about 300 schools or more. So obviously pass rates are part of the factors that are used in those rankings, and that's why I can say to you with some real pride that we do very well at making sure that our students really understand this curriculum and are ready to take the board's exam. Okay, so let's go on to the third E, which is work experience. There's two different things that you need here. You either need to have 2 years of full-time work experience or 3 years. And here's the difference. You would only need to have 2 years if you do comprehensive financial planning, which means working with clients on all of the different subject areas that we've mentioned to you before, like investment planning, retirement, estate planning, etc. However, if you just do tax planning or investment planning advice, then you would need to have a full 3 years worth of work experience. And here's just some generalized information for you too. The board is, of course, looking to see if you have any direct interaction working with clients. And again, that's in at least one subject area. They're going to look 10 years of prior work experience to see whether or not you've met that requirement after you have successfully passed the board's exam. And if you don't have that work experience requirement, then after you pass the exam, you have 5 years from the point of taking that exam to get your experience requirement. Now, what I would suggest to all of you is to go to the CFP Board's website, which is www.cfp.net, or contact the board in order to get your questions answered. But you can find out in greater detail what their work experience requirements are. And if people have any questions about that after reading that information or speaking with people at the board, I'd be happy to speak with you about your own personal situation, and we can try and map things out from there. And then we have the last E, which is ethics. And this is by no means the last one, because it's probably the most important one. CFP certificates have to abide by the board's standard of professional conduct. So we have a code of ethics that applies to all CFP professionals. And also, if you're going to practice financial planning, as most of you plan to do, then you need to be aware of what the practice standards are, because these are the steps that are involved in the financial planning process that practitioners have to follow. And we just put up here, just to make sure that you initially qualify to become a CFP, you should review the candidate fitness standards that are found in the Guide to CFP Certification on the CFP Board's website. This is going to explain the conduct that could potentially disqualify somebody from becoming a CFP. So again, if you have any concerns, I would urge you to go to the website and take a look at that. Okay, so we've gone over the 4 E's about becoming certified. Now let's talk about the BU Financial Planning Program. First of all, we are 100% online. That means access to the course content is available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is a self-study program, and so that means you can go through it at your own pace. Now, we have developed some study guides that are available for you to see in every single course. And if you take a look at those study guides, they're going to help you plan your studying and help you stay on track so that you complete the program on your own schedule. We just want to make sure that that you're not lagging behind, that you can keep up with all of this, especially because the webinars that we offer will also go along with your studies. I mentioned to you before, the BU program is one of the most renowned and prestigious programs in the country. BU has been educating students for almost 40 years now. And so anyway, we're very proud of our reputation and standing in the financial planning community. Now, we mentioned it's a 7-course certificate program that includes the final Capstone course. And a BU certificate in financial planning is going to be awarded to you if you complete the program and meet all of BU's education requirements. And we're always working on the curriculum. First of all, we have some new streamlined curriculum. We've revised and updated our program's curriculum to shorten your study time and also to help you complete the program much quicker. I mentioned that we also have webinars in our program. These are available to you so that you can get your questions answered by our course instructors. So what we do is we offer webinars every other week. So there's 2 webinars for each subject area, and there are many other webinars in between on topics of interest. And so these webinars are live so that you can, again, get your questions answered, but they're also recorded too, so that you can listen to them at your own convenience. Another thing that we've been adding to the program are more CFP practitioner videos. This is so that real practitioners will come on and explain how to apply the concepts that you're learning in your course to client situations. And they're also going to be giving you tips along the way to help you work with clients too. And then we have faculty facilitated discussion boards that let you connect with other students and the facilitator so that you can get your questions answered. The program also has rolling admissions, which allows students to start anytime that's convenient for you. And we have instructor support. This is available through emails and discussion boards at all times. And most important of all, I'd like you to meet some of the BU instructors. We really have phenomenal instructors in our program, and I think that that's probably why it's ranked so highly. Here's a few of them who contribute to our program and also conduct our webinars too. All of our online instructors are CFP professionals, and many hold additional designations, such as CPA, CFA, JD. You can see with some of the instructors we have here, they hold many other credentials too. So Ken, Bill, and Dan have a lot of these other credentials in addition to their CFPs because they're specialists in their fields. All of our instructors are experienced in the classroom program in teaching online, and also teaching CFP review instruction. So again, you're really getting the cream of the crop here. And we've had these instructors with us for over 15 years, most of them, so they certainly know how to prepare you to take the board's exam. The most important one I want to introduce you to on this slide, though, is Fong Long. Fong is our financial planning facilitator, and she's the person who's going to be available to you to get your questions answered and to help guide you through your courses. Now, there's no charge at all for contacting Fong, and I want you to know that you can contact her as often as you need to in order to get assistance with your studies. So if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us, because if Fong can't answer them, then she's got a whole bunch of great experienced instructors that she can rely on to get your questions answered.
Great, thank you, Carolyn. And now it's time for our final poll for this session here. And I will launch the final poll for our attendees. And how did you hear about the BU Financial Planning Program? Please select one of the following: CFP Board website, a Google search, referral from a colleague or friend, employer approved program, or another source? And it looks like we have quite a few people already entered, so we will close the poll. And here are the results.
Wow, interesting that it's a Google search was the first one. I would have thought maybe CFP Board website, but that's terrific. I hope in the Boston area, some of you people were referred from a colleague or friend, because the BU program has been so instrumental in educating students in Boston that that most people do know about the program here locally. So, all right, terrific. Wonder what those others are. We'll have to find out. So right now, I'd like to turn this presentation over to Amber Nolan. She's from our enrollment team, and Amber's going to go over the schedule and the enrollment options with you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Carolyn. Yes, so this slide today shows our current promotion. So this is our May promotion that is good through the 31st. We do often run different promotions, so you can always check on the website for what the pricing is or give us a call. So as you'll see this month, it is a $600 tuition discount. So you'll see the standard course, which would just be the course, is the same price as the course and the books. So in essence, your books are free this month. And then we also offer the online program, the books, and a exam review for $5,295. And what that adds is the exam prep course that you would take after you completed the 7 courses of the BU program. You would then take the test prep, which would prepare you for the sitting for the board exam. We do accept pay in full, credit card pay in full. It's an easy enrollment right online. Or we do offer a 6-month interest-free payment plan. How that works is you would need 1/6 of whatever bundle here you've chosen, and that would be due upon enrollment. Then every 30 days, the credit card that you use to make your payment is charged. So there's no interest or fee, and it's automatically charged. We just offer it as a convenience to you. And then we also offer, you can enroll in the program if you'd like doing just single courses. So how that would work is you would enroll in the Introduction to Financial Planning. That price is $695 for just the course. If you'd like to get the textbook from us, that's an additional $100. So those courses, the first 6 courses would be $795, including the book. And then the Capstone is $995 plus the additional $100 for the textbook. And so, if you have any questions for us, you can either email us at bostonuniversity@mindmax.net. There's our phone number, the website for the program, and then the CFP website, as Carolyn had mentioned before.
Great, thank you so much, Amber.
Oh, you're welcome.
And now we will start our questions and answer session. I know a few of you, and Amber's been helping answer throughout the duration of the webinar, have submitted questions, but just as a reminder, please use your questions and answers box on the right-hand side of your screen, and we will get started. All right, let's see here. So Carolyn, I will address this question to you. This person says, how common is it for an individual who just graduated college to begin a CFP program and sit for the exam without ever working in the field?
Actually, that's becoming more and more common. So I would have said probably 10 years ago, that would be very uncommon. I think what's happening now is that people understand that financial planning is a real profession, that they can actually have a successful career in financial planning. And so because they're aware of that, when they finish their undergraduate studies, a lot more people are going into financial services, might start working for a firm and realize at that point that either the firm encourages them to get their CFP certification, or they decide on their own that they want to get that additional knowledge and expertise to be able to work with clients. So you wouldn't be alone, let's put it that way. If you did that, you would find others in the BU financial planning program that are in a similar situation to yours.
All right, great, thank you so much. And this person is asking, what is a passing score for the CFP exam?
That's not anything that I could ever answer for you, because every exam is different. They don't have one passing score. They have a very convoluted method of being able to score these exams. It's like the APGOF method. Anyway, I'm probably saying that incorrectly. But the thing is, the board itself has their own ways of scoring exams. And some of that information may be on the board's website. So I would encourage you to look into that through them. And don't forget, you can always call the board too. They'll get your questions answered, but every exam would be scored differently because the questions are different.
Great, thank you, Carolyn. And this next question for you as well. Can you please elaborate on being a CFP as a second career? This person has 25 years of corporate experience, but no financial planning experience.
Well, I can only tell you myself, I'm also a career changer and never even expected to get into financial planning field. So anyway, it happens to some of us. But there are many people who are career changers. And let me quickly tell you why. Because first of all, financial planning itself has only been around as a possible career or profession for the past 50 years. So think of it, everybody who started financial planning firms were all career changers at one point in time. And so those career changers now are aging out. They're getting to be at the point where they need to bring on people with life experience, skills, other expertise, and financial planning expertise to be able to help with their practices and help to grow their practices and continue and maintain their practices in the future. So the whole point is, do second careers work in this field? The answer is yes. It's filled with people who are career changers. What I would also like to say to those of you who are interested in becoming certified would be to look into professional organizations in your area. The Financial Planning Association, which is the FPA, is a national organization that's a professional organization for CFPs and financial planners and financial advisors. There are many other organizations too, like NAPFA, NAPFA, which is the National Association of Personal Financial Advisors. That's a national organization with chapters in all throughout the country. And there are, in the insurance industry too, there are professional organizations. So wherever you're heading, make sure that you join a professional organization, because you're going to meet people who have the same backgrounds as you, career-changing situations as you. They can steer you into what the path that they've taken in their careers, put you in contact with people that they know, help you to network, help you to learn, to be able to learn a lot of information that will help you with practice management purposes. These professional organizations are invaluable for all of us. So again, that's one way, if you're a career changer, to enter the field and start meeting others in your same situation.
That's a great answer. Thank you, Carolyn. This question also for you, can you decide to take the exam prep course later, or does it have to be sequential after you finish your education?
Well, I can just give you an opinion about that. So that's all this is. If I finish taking all of my 7 courses, say I go through the BU program, I have learned so much information that I'm really ready now to take the board CFP exam. And if that's the case, then I really want to take the exam for the next exam cycle that's coming up. And so I would go right ahead and I would continue to keep this knowledge fresh in my mind and to have it be tested through test prep programs, which are going to help further prepare you to be able to be successful on the board's exam. There are other people who will take all the courses and they'll stop and take a year off and then get back into the saddle and start studying again and get themselves prepared. But that's going to be at a cost to them because, first of all that information, believe me, is not going to be fresh in your mind. You're going to have to do a lot of refreshing and learning and relearning information again. But secondly, the board will test on the current year's tax statistics and policies. And so if you let it go too long, you may need to learn a whole new set of tax facts and figures and policies and all the rest of it. If you're going through the BU program, we make sure that all of our information is completely up to date so that each year you will have the statistics and tax figures, etc., that you're going to need to be tested on the CFP Board's exam. So I would say do it right after. Make a commitment to this and make it as one whole commitment of going through the education, then going through a test prep, and then sitting for the board's exam. And then it'll all be behind you.
Great, thank you so much. And this question, a few people have asked this question in a few different ways. A few people are saying, I have the challenge status of PhD in financial economics, or someone else said an insurance license. Would you still recommend taking the non-capstone courses as well with this particular challenge status?
Only you can answer that question because you know what it is that you know and could be translate successful onto a CFP Board's exam. What I've mentioned to you is there are 6 subject areas that are going to be tested on the CFP Board's exam. So if you are, let's say, a CPA and you don't know that much about estate taxes or insurance, then you may decide that you want to take those individual courses. Those of you who are in the insurance field may know certainly a lot about those, but maybe you need to brush up on your retirement planning or investment. In other words, you would need to decide whether you have the knowledge in order to sit for the board's exam. Here's what I would do. I would go to the board's website and I would look up their principal knowledge topics. There are 72 principal knowledge topics. These are the basis of the topics that are tested on the CFP Board's exam, and they're also the basis for us creating our courses so that all of our courses are completely in sync with what the CFP Board expects students to know. So that way you can take a look at the topics and decide whether you would really need to brush up on certain subjects or not. If you have any questions about that, I'd be happy to help you figure that out.
Thank you, Carolyn. And this person is saying, is the BU program built for those who still have full-time jobs? An example is, am I able to study on nights and weekends to still stay on track?
Absolutely, yes. That's what it was originally for. It's a convenience factor for you. The whole point of this is when we have our webinars, we run them usually from 7 to 8 o'clock at night. So that gives you time to get home from work, see your family, perhaps have a meal, and then get started on your studying. But what we recommend for students is that you plan on putting in at least 10 hours of studying a week. And so when you get home, you can study, you can wake up earlier and study. It's up to you. You could be studying at work on your lunch hour, you could be while you're commuting. It's up to you to plan out how you want to put in those 10 hours. There are going to be some subjects where you're going to say, oh, I didn't need 10 hours. I only needed 3 this week. And then there's going to be other topics where you're going to probably have to put in 15 hours in order to understand it. So in other words, it's self-study, it's self-paced, and it's really up to you to determine your study schedule.
Great, thank you, Carolyn. And on that same note, a lot of people are asking, how much time does it take to complete a particular course or perhaps the full program, if you have any insight on that?
Well, what I'd like to say to people is if you really want to get through this, get through your courses, plan on 3 months per course. It is absolutely doable. And not only that, but we have the study schedule for you, which shows how to plan out your studies to go through that course and complete it within 3 months. However, if you want to finish all of your courses in 9 months, well, we've got a plan for that too. So anyway, the whole point is you decide how quickly you want to go through the CFP program, and then when you expect to sit for the board's exam. And what I would do is I'd work backwards, and I'd say, I plan to sit for the board's exam in March 2022, and then kind of work backwards and see what your study schedule should be. There are many ways to do that. We have suggestions for you for all different times of program completion in those modules for each course. So again, please take a look at that. And if you have questions with how to put your study schedule together, please let me know. You really don't need more than 3 months. Some people will take 4 months because life gets in the way. And obviously there are things that we have to take care of that are outside of our control. But if you wanted to plan to get through this program at a very good, steady pace, you could do it in 21 months.
Great, thank you so much. And does a CFP help people advance from credit counseling, say, to more of a high-level financial planning service?
Well, I could tell you that you will learn far more than what you know already just working in credit counseling services. There will be so much more knowledge out of those 72 topics that you would be learning by taking the BU course. And so once you complete all of your studies and you are successful and you get your CFP certification, now all the firms that we mentioned before are going to recognize the fact that you have this credential. They know how hard you had to work in order to get that credential and get that far. So it's looked at very favorably in all different aspects of financial services. So it certainly is beyond just learning about credit and debt management. It goes much further than that.
Great, thank you, Carolyn. And Amber, this question is for you, if we could please. Can you please go over the payment plan option again? And as a second follow-up to that question, is tuition included with the CFP exam fee?
Okay, sure. So the payment plan, how that works is, let's say enrolled today in the course, the $43.95 course bundle. So it'd be $43.95, 6-month payment plan. So today you would need $732.50 to enroll. And then every 30 days, your card would be charged that same amount. So the 28th of June, July, August, et cetera, it'll auto charge your card the $732.50. There's no interest or fees to do it that way. And then the exam fee is not included in this month's promo. That has been something we have offered before, but it is not in the May promotion right now. That fee is, I believe it's $725 for the board exam.
May I jump in and just mention something about the cost of the CFP board exam? You know, before earlier when I was mentioning joining the FPA, Financial Planning Association, if you join as a student, first of all, you get a huge discount for being part of that organization. It won't cost you that much, but not only that, but you'll get a discount on taking the CFP board's exam. So it's almost like a wash. Whatever you paid to join the the organization, you get back in discounts too.
Thank you so much, both Amber and Carolyn. And Carolyn, this next question is for you. Do you have to take the courses in a predefined order other than the Capstone course?
Great question. Thank you for asking that one. Actually, I should have been more specific. We do start out with the introduction to financial planning. That is a prerequisite course. That's because that's where you're going to learn a lot of basic information that you're going to build upon as you take the other courses. Now, after you've taken that first course, which we call Financial Planning, FP 101, then you can take the other courses in any order that you choose, ending with Capstone. So Capstone does have to be your last one. But you could, the next course that we have, FP 102, is risk management. However, you don't need to take risk management. You could take investments if that's what you prefer, or estate planning. In other words, just as long as you do get that prerequisite course behind you, you're going to be prepared for all the rest of the courses.
Great answer. Thank you so much. And Carolyn, can you briefly go over again the approximate time to get through the 4 E's that you mentioned?
Well, I was saying through the BU program, we have study schedules that are for 21 months of going through each three. In other words, going through 7 courses 3 months at a time. So you'd be able to easily complete the BU program if you stayed on that study track. But what will happen is some people want to get through it much faster than that. Let's say they want to get through it in 12 months. You can do that too. And so we have suggested study schedules for you I think we have a 9-month, a 12-month, an 18-month, and a 21-month study schedule for you, so that just to use as a guide when you're doing your studying. Beyond the 21 months, you don't need to have more than that in order to be successful going through the program. But if, again, under certain personal circumstances, if you're not able to complete the course within 21 months, then that's another issue. And that's something that you would contact the enrollment people about too.
Thank you very much. And Carolyn, this is more of an advice question here, as well as work experience that you've had as well. This person is saying, I don't have any financial planning background or any work experience in the field. If I go through this program and pass the exam, will I actually have entry-level career opportunities, or will my lack of experience prior be a significant hurdle?
Well, first of all, you won't be able to receive the CFP designation after taking the CFP Board's exam. What you will be, though, is you'll be able to show potential employers at that point in time that that you have successfully passed the board's exam. And people in financial services know what the CFP credential is all about and what it takes to be successful on passing the board's exam. That would certainly give you an opportunity to be looked at more favorably than other potential candidates who did not go through that time and effort and expense in order to get their CFP. So what I would say to you is, if you can't get certified right away, of course you want to put that on your resume, and of course you would want your potential employers to be aware of that, that you've come that far, and that's something that will will help you perhaps be able to get into the particular firm or the field that you're looking to enter.
Great, thank you so much. And a few people have asked this question. Can you briefly expand on what that capstone course would entail?
Actually, it's a fun course, so don't, I don't know, maybe that's just my sense of humor. I think it's a great course. But at the same time, what it does is it's going to go over a lot of the different subject areas that you've already had sort of as a review. And it's not designed to be a review for the CFP Board's exam. So I don't want you to be aware of that. But what we're doing at that point in time is we're bringing in more of the working with client aspect of what your job as a financial planner is going to be. And so it's going to be more scenarios, more little case studies, more information about how you would integrate all those subjects together, how you would be giving insurance advice along with estate planning advice, or giving investment advice along with tax advice. In other words, we try and pull some of those pieces together for you so you have a much better understanding of what it is like to be working with clients. And that's really going to help you for the CFP Board's exam, because again, they want to test you on how well you can apply this information that you've learned. The Capstone course applies all of that information and integrates it together so that if you do well on your Capstone course, and obviously that's good preparation for you too on the exam. But all the Capstone course entails is submitting a financial plan and doing a video presentation of sitting down with a fictitious couple who are your clients, and having a planning meeting with them. And this is where people get creative and it gets to be more fun. you don't have to create your own financial plan. We have one for you. You just have to kind of fill in the blanks for that financial plan, and then have fun doing the presentation. We love to watch them.
Great answer. Thank you so much, Carolyn. All right, we have just about 5 minutes or so left in our session today, so we'll still go through the questions and get through as many as possible here. Carolyn, for you, what is the professional makeup of people taking CFP classes?
You know, we don't really have statistics on that. So all I can tell you is anecdotally in the classroom program that we had, it was really 50-50 almost, career changers versus those who are already in financial services who are just looking to become certified. So it's really, with the online program, it's a much bigger program. And so we don't know our students as well as we did in the classroom program. So it's hard to know what all the different backgrounds are. But I just want to assure any of you who are career changers thinking of entering this field that you are equal to this work. You can do this work. And the reason I can tell you that is because many years ago, I did this work. And I came from an English major background. So, I mean, come on. I was not prepared at all for finance or financial planning, and it worked for me. So I'm just saying that we have made the coursework in such a way, we've developed it and designed it and put it together for you so that it will be easier for you to understand these concepts.
Thank you so much. And Amber, I will pass this next question to you if I could. Is it easy to register and get started?
Okay, yes, very easy. When you would log on to our website, you will see a tab at the top that's titled Tuition. You'll click on that. It'll take you essentially to that screen that we showed with the different bundles. You'll click on the Enroll Now button under the bundle you would wish to enroll in. Takes you to the shopping cart. You just fill in the shopping cart information, put in your credit card, and you are enrolled.
Easy as that. Thank you so much, Amber. And Carolyn, is this program good for somebody who lives outside of the United States? And is the CFP recognized outside of the USA?
That's a good question too. I would hesitate to tell you to enroll in the BU program if you're not in the United States. And the reason is that the CFP designation is recognized worldwide. So it is throughout the world. But if you're living in some certain countries, like say Australia or England or Canada, India, China, they have their own requirements that are different from the US requirements. And of course, you would have to learn that country's information, like tax laws and legal aspects and policies and things of that nature. So if you're living in another country right now, you should look into what their certification would be. And you could, if you can't find it somewhere, then why don't you ask CFP Board to help you?
Great answer. Thank you very much. And Carolyn, is this certification renewed annually?
No, once you're certified as long as you remain in good standing. What we have to do though as CFPs is we have continuing education requirements that we have to fulfill every 2 years. And so once we take some courses or read books or whatever, go to lectures, go to conferences, go to events where we can get our CE credit, we have to make sure that every 2 years we do have those credits amount, and then we also pay our renewal fee. So we don't ever have to take the board's exam again. That's once in a lifetime. Let that stay behind you as long as you stay in good standing ethically, and also with your continuing education credits, you're in good shape.
Great, thank you so much. If you're okay with it, we still can take maybe a few more questions. I know we're at the top of the hour here. I know we've got a lot of great questions that are coming in. So if you're okay with me moving on, I can just do a few more. All right, great, thank you so much. Carolyn, are there practice exams given throughout the program or after each individual course?
We have lots of practice exams for you. What's going to happen is, as you're going through each course, every couple of pages, we're going to have review questions on those pages for you to answer. It's all going to be self-graded. We're not grading any of this stuff. Then when you finish a complete module, you have practice questions at the end of that module. Again, they're practice. You can get the answers wrong as often as you want. It doesn't matter. But the point is to learn from those answers and why you're getting them wrong, and to go back and take a look at that material. Then what we also have in the program is for every single course, we have a midterm exam and also a final quiz. And these are not graded either. So again, it's all just to give you more difficult scenarios, more little mini scenarios to apply the information to, and test yourself and see how well you do. However, what will happen is once you finish all of the modules and you finished your midterm quiz and you finished your final quiz and you looked at the case study that we have, which has answers to it too, right there for you, now you're ready to take our final exam. And you're going to have, each course will have an exam with 4 attempts to take it. And so what you can do is you take the exam. If you don't pass it, you have 3 other attempts to take that exam. Or if you pass it and you think you could do better and you would want to improve on your score, you can take it again. In other words, you can take it 4 times, and we will use the highest score on your exam as your final grade for that course.
Great, thank you so much. And this person's asking, do we continue to have access to online material after completing the exam after each course? I guess to refer back to?
You know, I'm not 100% sure on that. I know, I think you can go back as long as you have access to the full program. You have access to all the courses is my understanding. I don't believe people get locked out of each course after they finish it. I could be wrong though, I don't know.
That's quite all right. We can certainly find out it and follow up here once the webinar's over. All right, and does this program assist with career placement or just any guidance after you finish?
No, I mean, unfortunately, we don't have any specific career paths for our students to follow. And that's because obviously our students are all different ages, all different backgrounds. Some are already in financial services, some are career changers, some are brand new right out of college. I mean, it's all, and of course, being an online program, our students are in every state. So we don't have one specific career path for people, but we have webinars that talk about career opportunities and career development opportunities. I'm also available to you to talk to you about your situation and see what we can do to make suggestions for you to help guide you through the field. But this is really where the local professional organizations will come into play. They'll be far more important to you in developing your career and finding a career path than just an education program would be.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And Carolyn, for you, this person says, I live on the West Coast. Is there specific reasons that I would take the BU course over one maybe in my area?
It's really entirely up to you. The only thing that I can tell you is the Boston University program is definitely one of the oldest ones in the country, and we're one of the most prestigious ones in the country, and we have one of the highest pass rates in the country. So why not go with a winner? You can take a look on thebestschools.org, and you can find the rankings for many of I think they have the top 20 CFP programs there, and see if you have a local university on that list. But we've been around for a long time. We know how to prepare our students very well for the exam, and that's why we're still here. So anyway, I would say take a look at Boston University. We're here for a reason.
Great, thank you so much. And are the books and study materials from BU, or are they from another provider such as Kaplan?
Yes, they are from different providers, different publishers. What happens is each university does not put out their own textbooks. So what we do is we take a look at the textbooks that have been published for the financial planning field, and we choose the ones that will closely match our curriculum and be of the standards that we want them to be. We're also very mindful of the cost of textbooks too. And so that's another factor for us in choosing textbooks, to make sure we're keeping down costs for our students too.
Great. And probably our last question for today for you, Carolyn, is there a time limit that we can access the course materials, such as 1 year, and how does that work?
Well, you have 21 months of access to an entire program if you purchase the entire program. So if you wanted to spend 4 months on one course and 2 months on another course, that's entirely up to you to figure out how you want to manage your time. I'm not sure I answered that right, but I mean,
I think so. Yeah,
if that's what we're looking for.
Great. All right, so that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank you all again for joining us, and we hope the information presented will help guide you on your search for a quality CFP education. And I'd like to thank Carolyn and Amber for their time today. And with that, I hope everyone has a pleasant afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you all.